Welcome to this presentation of Karuta Open Source Portfolio. My name is Jacques Reynaud of the Karuta project. The goal of this video is to give you a short introduction to Karuta from a designer perspective. Designers are a very important role in Karuta. They are the ones who construct the portfolio needed by your organization using all the Karuta functionalities. So let me first log in as a designer. And this is the page, the welcome page that I will have. On top is information on the different version of Karuta, front end, back end. This is the home button. You can ask for help, technical support here. Karuta is multilingual, so I can switch French and English. Very interesting for bilingual portfolios. And there are a couple actions here available to the designer. For example, the designer can execute some batch to create portfolio, for example, for a group of student or class or anything. On the right-hand side is more like you can change a password. You can create a test user, actually, to sort of test the portfolio you develop with an actual user, a student or an instructor, and here you can log out. On the bottom here, there's the import possibility. So it is very easy to import templates from Karuta templates. And you can start from there and you can sort of use them, modify them. So we have all sets of features to import models, instance, which are actual running portfolios. So this part is very developed. Here is the reload option. This is something that you should do quite often because it sort of reload the JavaScript, so the code will be up to date, and there will be, if you make changes somewhere, it will be reflected in the code. So let me start by creating a folder, because this is the base. This is where we start when you have a project. So I'm going to create a folder, and actually there are two parts in the folder. There's the code. The code is sort of very important. This is how Karuta manipulate this information. It has to respect many codes. So many rules. I'm sorry. So I'm going to call that demo designer. And the label is just you can there are no rules. You can put whatever you want. So I'm going to put demo designer as well. The rules are that you can only input letters, numbers, dash, and underscore. This is it. If you not do that, you're going to have problems. So I've created that. So let me check here these two possibilities. On the left-hand side, there are all sorts of options. I can rename if I made a mistake or I want to change things. I can create a subfolder. I can delete content. I can export a folder. Very useful if you want to make backups of your work. So this is something we recommend. Or you can import other file. We'll see that. So let me create quickly a subfolder. So the code, same rules. So I'm going to put, for example, introduction. As a folder, I can put the label introduction and just click on create. So I've got this subfolder introduction here that is available. So I'm going to remove it using the delete, not the delete content, but the delete. So we delete the subfolder and eventually the content. You have to be careful. This is why there's the refresher here. So this is my folder, and now I'm going to move on the other menu that is available, which is more interesting for a designer, is all the specific file that you will need to create a portfolio suite. So there will be the portfolio model, the main part. There will be rubrics, which are like evaluation criteria or different types of learning objectives, whatever. Component are parts that can be reused in your portfolio, parts that can be added up in the different part. Report, where you can create dashboard. Batch are for creating portfolio, for example, for a large number of students. And there are other options as well. So I'm going to create a portfolio model. And again, the code is very important if we want access to this information. So I'm going to create, the name will be portfolio. I'm going to create a science portfolio model. So I have three words, all separated by the dash. Here I'm going to put science portfolio model, and I'm going to hit on the create. So I have my first portfolio file. If I click on it, this is what I'm going to get. On top is the name, the label. There are some actions that I'm going to cover. The role here, I'm designer. This is very important because you have to click on edit if you want to have if you don't click on edit, you don't see any of the icons, the useful icon to sort of work. So here you do, and you can refresh. So this is the welcome page that is given like automatically in the portfolio. You can change, and you could put your image if you want. I'm going to change the image actually to continue my explanation of Karuta. So I'm going to give you an image of the structure of a Karuta portfolio. Karuta has a sort of hierarchy approach to organizing information. So it's like a tree. So you have like the root, the top part, and then you can add a section, and a section can contain pages. Here there are 2 pages. Pages is really a well-defined concept. It's pages is a page, where a web page. So everything you can see on one page. So this is the page. A page can contain subsection, obviously, different parts. And subsection can contain different resources, document, URL, images, whatever. So this is basically the overall structure of a Karuta portfolio. And these nodes are really important because you can give information, specific information on all the nodes. You can name the nodes. You can tell who's going to be able to see the nodes, or you can fix colors for the different pages, nodes, or subparts. So this organization is really critical for Karuta. So let's continue by just explaining to you the different icons here. Like this is the button edit, the delete, the move to, and the duplicate. Let me come back here is to show you more forcefully what's going on. Okay, edit there. Here is that I can, for example, if you want to move experience to the left, you're going to click on this button. Because since it's a tree, you can move up things in your tree. You can move also information in other parts of the portfolio. So you can move this subsection. This is a subsection. You can move it to some other part of the portfolio if you made a mistake. I'm going to remove that. So very useful, this tree organization of Karuta. Um, Now I'm going to sort of click on the root, the top part of the portfolio, and welcome is a page. You can see it very easily because you can show metadata, for example. Uh, and if you show metadata in the action, you'll see there will be information on all very important things in regarding this. And for example, welcome is a page. If I click on it, well, you see this information, the page, and these are subsection, and this is how it is organized. So getting back here, I'm going to sort of click on add to show you the most important part of Karuta. This is where it's very, you see that Karuta is a very specialized portfolio tool because, well, you have, as I mentioned before, the organizing nodes, section, page, and subsection. So you can create the structure of the portfolio like that. But then you have access to all sorts of different resources like text, short text, document, URL. So you can add them up in your portfolio in the different parts to sort of answer the need you have and the requests you have. So here I'm going to add, for example, whoops, I'm sorry, I'm going to get back here. I'm going to click on add. I'm going to add a page, another page, and this page will be, for example, the profile page. So uh, I will put on this page name, address, and things like that. Then I'm going to add another co- component. I'm going to add a section now. You remember a section can contain pages. Yeah, because here I'm going to, for example, put a learning outcome. This is going to be the learning outcome section. So I will have many learning outcomes. And if I click on learning outcomes, I can add a page which will be called, let's see, learning outcome number one, which will be civic engagement. Okay. Uh, and again, I can click on civic engagement and then I can add a section, a subsection, which will be called, let's see, add evidence. Yeah, in a portfolio, it's important to have add evidence. I'm going to add evidence. And finally, I'm going to add a document. And I'm going to put a label to help student. This is a document that it's going to be useful. And I'm going to, this is the first time, I'm going to specify in the metadata uh, who's going to be able to edit the document. So if I want the student to be able to upload this document, I'm going to create on the fly a role that's called student. That's it. If it was something to be used by instructor, I will have created a role instructor. So actually, you will see you can specify fairly in a very. There are many options here, actions that are available, and you can specify exactly who's going to be able to sort of do these things. So here I put student to be able to edit the data. Okay, I'm going to close that. Remember, the this is a section, and you see the menu here underneath will make you go to the civic engagement. So this is really a section. A profile is a page. This is a page. Okay, so this is like very simple portfolio just to show some of the features. I didn't click on configuration. I don't want to spend too much time here, but the designer can actually uh, choose many different colors for the text, for the 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 background here, the color of the text, the color of the menu. I mean, everything you can set up in the configuration. So I'm going to come back here uh, to the designer demo designer folder, and now this is a model, and I want this model to be available to students. So the student cannot use the model. The model is just a blueprint. It's a sort of template. I have to make a copy of this for each of the student. Obviously, here, just to as an illustration, I'm going to create a working portfolio version for only one student. So to do that, I'm going to instantiate the portfolio. This is a word we use in Karuta to mean that we're going to copy the model, make sure all the permissions are working, are set up, and it's the same. I'm going to it has to be a unique code. I'm going to remove model and put instance here. But in real life, I could put the name of the student because this is going to be the portfolio of this student. So I'm going to put instance here just to make sure that we don't have problem differentiating the two. So I click on instantiate, and you see there is a sort of a working. This is a different portfolio. This is not a model. This is a working copy of my portfolio, and I need one additional step is I have to share this portfolio with the user with the role that is needed. So this is very typical of Karuta. Portfolios are shared with actual users with different roles. I can be student, another person can be instructor, another one can be supervisor. So there are many roles, and you have to make sure that you share the portfolio with the role appropriate. So, student, I'm going to search for my science student. Yes, I have a science student here. So, if I click on share, you see this working copy. Working portfolio is going to be available to the student because I've shared it with as a student, as a role student. Okay, uh, if I click here, I have another folder that is already done. It's the typical folder for a project, a portfolio project. I have components, different parts that can be used, the portfolio model, the report for dashboard, and the rubrics. If I want to make a copy of the component, or actually I can make a copy of the whole folder, but I'm going to make a copy of the component, all I have to do is do an export, a backup actually. This is another, just as a copy, it's a backup. So I'm going to export that. There's an option with files. Sometimes then if you have files, it's going to create a zip. So I'm going to just export the component, and this is going to appear in my downloaded files. So I have a backup and I can reuse it elsewhere. Actually, I'm going to show you how to import that the export that I've just done. I can position myself on the folder, click here on import, uh, click on import a model. I can choose a file, and here I have a component that I've just exported. So I'm going to reuse that. And you see, uh, the component has been imported. So this is something that you're going to be asked to do if you follow other session or the training in Karuta. It's going to be easier for you to import files sometimes, so you can play with them or reuse them or copy them. I'm going now to log out as a designer, and I'm going to log in as a science student just to show you everything. Donc, I'm going to log in as a science student. You see, I have to switch the button to edit because I won't be able to play. Of course, this is not what we wanted for our student. This is just, remember, we changed the file. And you see, my student will be able to click on the pencil and upload whatever file that is needed in his portfolio. So this is sort of an illustration of that. Now I'm going to change the address to show you how you can create your own account of Karuta in our sandbox. So it's www.eportfolium.com/Karuta. If you go there, you will be welcomed by a page where you can create an account and sign up. So it's eportfolium.com-Karuta. So this is it for this short introduction. I hope you find that useful. There will be a lot more training modules available, and I hope you find that